We are outside the World Academic Summit, where over the next few days, hundreds, 500 plus delegates are meeting to discuss the role of the university in a rapidly changing world. We're going to be reporting here today, talking to activists to see what they're trying to get, talking to delegates to see whether they think they can actually address the need for university to take a more serious look at their global impact, or are universities too deeply entangled with companies that have unethical practices? Stay with us, let's check it out. The summit is taking place at the University of Manchester, who have £22.5 million worth of defence industry partnerships. £4 million of those can be connected to the Israeli apartheid. This conference has been met by student protests who for months now have been asking their universities to cut their ties with controversial companies. So I just wanted to ask what you're doing here today. What are your demands for the university?
We are here because so many universities have decided to come here on the 7th of October, ironically, to discuss how universities can be for the betterment of the world and the betterment for humanity, and basically whitewash all of the crimes and the horrible murders and killings that they've been complicit in for the past year. We are not asking for any active thing. We're asking for passivity. We're actually asking them to withdraw. It shouldn't be hard.
We've just found out that there's already been police violence at the other picket line, and one of the students has been left bleeding. We're going to go try and find out some more.
We just started our day of action where we're targeting the World Academic Summit with universities from across the country. At one of the pickets there was a disproportionate police response and police violence. Several of our comrades are injured.
And this was under university request?
Yes, the university are officially telling us, or they're trying to tell us, that they did not call the police. The police have told us that they were acting on behalf of the university.
We'll be back! We'll be back!
We'll be back! The cost to get into this conference is £1,700 for university representatives and £2,300 for corporate reps. Now, students have surrounded the building creating picket lines, making sure that anyone coming into the building has to see that they are demanding that their university breaks the ties with companies connected to the Israeli apartheid and arms companies beyond. I'm sure though, with that price, they're not very happy about it.
They've got a meeting upstairs and we're not allowed to get in now because of the protest.
What are you hoping the conference is going to achieve today?
It is a very good opportunity for all of us from throughout the world to meet each other, to, connect, discuss.
It brings like-minded people with, trying to collaborate and, create new avenues for cooperation and collaboration.
There is a technology change that's happening, there are demographic changes, there are changes in social aspects and in various other ways, including climate change. So the universities will have to foresee these challenges, get adjusted, identify new strategies, and so on and so forth, I hope.
This summit is obviously discussing the responsibility of universities. What responsibility do you think that is?
So, originally university was said to be an educational institution, but things has evolved. So it has changed really from that, because we cannot just be a university for ourselves, but we need to be socially responsive and look at the things that the communities that you are learning for will receive post our education. So our real responsibility is to ensure that we produce students with those attributes that will really look at the needs of the communities that they are serving.
Universities should serve as reservoirs of trusted knowledge.
It's a beacon of knowledge, research, community service.
First is serving the public. Secondly is making sure that we provide our students with the right studies. And thirdly is to contribute to the workforce.
How universities and the people who are attending the universities would do better for this world.
So on the summit's agenda today is the importance of civic responsibility, driving innovation for the future, collaboration within and between institutions, global impact for common good, and the revealing of the World University Rankings 2025. But are they really addressing the need to break the ties between the arms trade? Do you have any thoughts and feelings on whether universities should be partnering with companies involved in unethical supply chains?
Of course, no one wants to be associated with anything that is unethical. whatsoever.
The graduates that we are aiming to produce, those should be people with integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, they should be able to understand ethics and apply ethics in their lives.
So there's students on campus that are a little concerned that it's the 7th of October and universities still aren't divesting from the arms trade. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Arms trade is a huge business, and it's been going on for a long time now. Everybody knows that there are governments invest that. I mean, all governments invest in that, and there are lobbies that invest in that. Who's going to tackle this?
We do understand that these universities are an establishment of the government. We do have our individuality, but at the same time, we do belong to a government as well. So whatever the government decides would be the decision of the universities as well. So our hands are tied.
Do you think arms companies should be allowed to partner with universities?
I'm not sure I can comment on that.
There's clearly so much hope and leverage for the university space to be making the world a better place. However, many of these industry partnerships are unethical and are supplying and fueling conflict and other human rights abuses. Do you see a solution? Is there anything that could be happening at this conference which could be looking closer at this?
I think focusing on what universities do really well and what they do that benefits the world at large. Times Higher Education, for instance, run our impact rankings, which is based on the UN SDG framework. SDG 16 is peace, justice and strong institutions. I don't know if there's specific language that talks about armaments at all, but that's certainly looking at how universities can support their governments for a more peaceful society. So looking at the work that universities do there, promoting more of that work and encouraging more of that work for a more sustainable world, I would suggest is the way that we ensure a better contribution from those universities.
Now today is the 7th of October, which means it's 1 year since the ongoing genocide in Gaza, this section of it. I'm just wondering if you think that the university delegates inside should be addressing this issue.
They should, because this is where people study, this is where people learn what is right and what is wrong.
Do you believe the university should partner with unethical companies, or
What company?
for example arms companies that are supplying war?
I'm more for peace. I'm more for environmental protection and for the betterment of humanity. So I don't think universities should get into this.
Brilliant. And do you think this will be addressed today?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea whether they would address that or not.
From the people that we have spoken to, it seems like this really is a hub for learning and to improve higher education institutions. Are they really addressing the true impact of universities in the world though, particularly in the context to dealing with arms partnerships who are supplying the ongoing conflicts that we want to see end? We're not convinced, but we've had an amazing time reporting today and followed education for more on the movement to demilitarize education. Thank you.